Rafael Nadal, Simone Biles, Michael Phelps. Behind every great athlete is a dedicated coach that's there every step of the way. Many professional athletes would likely not be where they are today without this guidance. Sports writer Justin Spiesman spent years researching what made a coach superior.
Now, I'll tell you that the way people won, the way coaches did what they did, was very unique to the coach. In no capacity was the way that Bill Belichick did it the same as the way Phil Jackson did it, the way is the same that Jimmy Valvano did it. They all did it in their own way, and I really was impressed by that.
While each person is different in their own respect, Spiesman did highlight that there were certain qualities he saw time and time again.
There was certainly a dedication to greatness, a desire to be the best at what they did. They were students of the game. They were hard workers. No one just got away with greatness without putting in the time and the effort. So those were the types of things, that dedication, the resilience, the great effort toward their trade, being a student of the game, that I did recognize.
Spiesman breaks down many of the coaches he studied into 4 distinct styles: the team builders, the strategists, the technicians, and the closers. The first 2 styles are fairly straightforward. A team builder is someone who excels in bringing the team together and getting each athlete amped and in the right mindset to contribute to a cohesive team. The second, the strategist, analyzes each detail of every play and takes a very scientific approach to the game. The next is the technician, which Spiesman says is one of the more unique categories.
I thought about the coaches that had a really remarkable grasp on the technicalities of a specific sport, the mechanics, understanding how training and preparation optimize performance, discipline, sports science, physiology, psychology, nutrition. The technicians always focused on those types of things. They help their athletes become the best of the best through a number of variables like science and academics and analytics. They studied the game. They're kind of like the Moneyball of coaches.
And last, there are the coaches that are the closers, the ones who really excel in leading their team or athlete to a win during the final stretch of a game or competition.
Those are the coaches that when there's blood in the water, they close that game out. They know victory when they see it. They motivate and they inspire others to finish strong. Whenever opportunity or greatness is within grasp, like they get it, they grab it. Great example of that people may not know is Carol Hutchins. She was a University of Michigan softball coach, still there. And she has 1,600 wins, winningest coach in Division I softball history, inducted in the Coaches Hall of Fame. And her history of sustaining tremendous success is really matchless. There's very few coaches that have done that. So she's a great example of a closer.
And there are those that fall into more than one category. For instance, take Bill Belichick, the former head coach of the New England Patriots. Belichick led the Patriots to 6 Super Bowl titles, the most in history for an NFL head coach.
One of Bill Belichick's gifts is he would find what your greatest strength is and take it away from you. That's strategy in its purest form. But he's also a closer. I mean, he won. He won games. He won championships. He won titles. He closed out. So he definitely could. It is arguable that he could fall in either of the 2 categories.
And there are also new coaches paving their way. Sean McVay, who led the LA Rams to the Super Bowl title in 2022, is in his mid-30s. He's the youngest coach in football history to win the Lombardi Trophy. Spiesman says that in the world of sports, he's seeing more and more coaches who are hitting their prime earlier in life.
These coaches that are in their early to mid-30s, that in the 80s and 90s and in early 2000s, that was unheard of to be a head coach that young. But now we're seeing it happen quite regularly. And a lot of it is because these coaches are easier to relate to. They understand the culture. They relate better to the players. So they have this innate ability, just generationally, to connect with these players and understand the players' basic needs. And the players then look at someone that's more like them, that understand their challenges, that understand the modern day issues that they're experiencing, and they want to run through a brick wall for them. And so I think we're definitely seeing a downturn in age of coaching. They obviously have to have a substantial amount of experience and qualifications, but we are seeing younger coaches getting far better chances.
And these prominent younger coaches often don't have several years of experience playing the sport professionally before they move into coaching. Take Sean McVay, who played collegiate football at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. After graduation, he didn't go on to the NFL, but instead pivoted into a coaching job with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The reality is that some people in the game recognize early on that they're better at developing players and leading a team than being a pro athlete. On the other hand, there are some great coaches who've had amazing athletic careers. Take former basketball player and current head coach for the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, as a prime example. He's an 8-time NBA champion, winning 5 titles as a player with the Chicago Bulls and the San Antonio Spurs. He's currently in his 10th season coaching the Warriors and has led the team to 4 NBA championships.
Steve Kerr, fantastic basketball player, very much a role player on Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls championship teams, but had a love for the game, understood the game, was a student of the game. And now he's turned into this remarkable coach that I think we all can agree has really achieved a great deal. And the reason why I think he's achieved a great deal is because he understands the rigor of the game. And so I think that you don't have to have played the game to be a great coach, but I do think you get some remarkable insight if you did play a game, because it does give you this kind of behind the scenes approach. And you've gone to war on the courts before. You know what it feels like to recover. You know what your body's capable of. You get it. And I think that gives you a level of credibility that these players relate to.
And this connection between athlete and coach is vital. Continued communication and a mutual reliance and respect are just some of the qualities that are key during the years spent together. In fact, many of these competitors work with the same coach for much of their prime. You're probably familiar with Simone Biles, but have you heard the name Amy Borman?
I mean, Amy was born in Chicago. She was a gymnast herself, but at a young age, she wanted to earn money for her family, so she started coaching gymnastics. She ends up going to high school, and the high school had a great gymnastics program, and she was a great gymnast herself. She actually won a city championship when she was just a freshman. She wasn't good enough to become an Olympic gymnast, but she still wanted to be involved in the sport. So she goes to college, and while she's in college, she takes a part-time coaching position. And at that point in time, she ends up accepting a coaching job in Texas at Cypress Academy, which is one of the best gymnastics coaching schools in the country. And then in 2005, she meets this gymnast named Simone Biles while she was at Bannon's. In that moment, life changed. Simone was 8 years old, and 8 years later, she's the U.S. national champion and all-world champion in her senior debut.
Borman coached Biles for more than a decade before they parted ways in 2016. But many experts wonder, where would Biles be today without Borman? There's no doubt that her guidance laid the framework for the athlete's dominance in the sport today. Across history, there are many coaches that never get their due recognition for the athletes they've helped develop, yet they continue on with their craft for the love of the sport. To find out more about this topic and our guest, Justin Spiesman, visit viewpointsradio.org. Also, check out his book, Coach, The Greatest Teachers in Sports and Their Lessons for Us All, available online and in bookstores. For more behind the scenes, search Viewpoints Radio on Instagram, X, and Facebook. This segment originally aired in February 2022 and was written and produced by Amira Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.